What's up, everybody? So I was gonna go live, but I don't have time. I'm definitely gonna talk about some things. Now, I've been listening to the briefing. I actually been quite adamantly listening and just very committed and consistent. And I'm just sad. I cried so many times. You would not believe how many times I shed tears when I think about my community, the people. I'm black, and feeling excluded, feeling like I don't and you don't, as a black person, are not wanted, in this country. Just think about it. Just think about it. When you listen to those phone automated systems, who do you have to sound like? Who do you hear? That sets the standard, people. That set the standard long ago. When you look at your commercials, what's shown to you as you watch TV, what do you see? You have to be a certain way in order to be accepted. And unfortunately, if you are black, it's going to be about 10 times harder for you than for any other race. And I know a lot of you know this. And it's not to bring any type of division, and trust and believe. I love and admire all races of people for what they are gifted, cognitively, whatever, genetically, just talented or just brilliant. I admire people. But there's a time to laugh, and there's a time to cry. And I just found that this is really something that I've been really want to talk about. What do you do? It just discourages me when I look on Instagram. When I'm looking on Instagram, and I always am seeing Megan Thee Stallion, all she does is shake her tail. It bugs me out. Like, there's so much to do with yourself, and that's all she does. That's all she does on Instagram, is show her body. And I guess it's me, because I want to be respected as the individual that did something in life, rather it's small. Put effort into whatever I do. I put effort into comprehension skills, and I'm not the greatest, and I'm damn sure not the smartest, okay? But I put emphasis on trying to articulate myself enough so that you can understand my point, what I'm trying to express. I put a lot of effort into being setting a standard, living the standard, and not being outside of who I am, not trying to be like anybody or sound like anybody else. What you see and what you hear is me. Trust and believe. I'm not trying to be like anybody else except me. But the fact that, when I look at the briefing tonight, and I've seen it in the news, I've seen it coming. Black people, if the news is saying that black people are the ones that's catching the coronavirus, it's catching the coronavirus. But Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx came out, and they were saying they can't tell you that. They don't have the data to support that we are the ones catching it most. But they said that based on what they saw, it's disproportion towards black people, even without them doing testing the other states, looking at the data for other states. They have enough information for them to make an educated guess that this is the facts, that we are fatal, or I'm sorry, that the coronavirus is more fatal to black people, because the black people are dealing with hypertension, dealing with all types of medical issues, high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, asthma. If you think about it, there is a reason that we have a lot of health issues. It stems. Don't forget that your great 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 grandmother was a slave. Your daddy, his daddy, they were slaves. And do you understand what that does to the genealogy, to you? When you think about it, your great 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 greats, okay, they lived in a world of fear. When it came to the education that you hear You hear the Caucasian, the white guy, the white girl, they speak very articulate. I love the way they speak. I admire the proper English. I do. I don't want to be them, but I do admire that they speak very, very fluent and very well. If you think about it, back then, when we were in school, right? When we were open up and vulnerable to learn, think about it. Back in great 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 grand's time, what happened to our school? You guessed it. It got burned down, right? And if you notice, this is something that I noticed. It's impossible to learn anything when you under stress. I learned that at work. When you under stress, when you feeling negative, then you're not open to learn. The information it won't sustain. You can't hold it, you'll forget. Or you just can't seem to get it because you're so stressed and annoyed or frustrated or just whatever. And that's negative. So you can't really learn like that. And under the conditions of thinking about sitting in the school while you're just open, you're vulnerable. Because now you're positive, you believe, you ready to learn, you excited about it. The school's on fire and you have to run out of the school. You're being told, get out fast. What do you think that does to the mind of that child? Trauma. You guessed it. Trauma. So when you talk about why we don't sound proper, why don't we speak good English? Well, think about our great great greats that were slaves and that raised our great great under the mindset, the mentality of fear and faith in God, the Bible, those tools. That's what we had. Why do we eat the foods we do? Well, it was definitely the pig that we ate. We ate the pork. We ate the slops because that's what we had. That's what we had. And in doing so, we manifested those things like heart disease. That's easy for me to understand. So then you have your great great raising your great. Now you're down to great grandmom and dad. They couldn't go to school. First of all, they're mental. They don't think they can do it. They don't want to even try. Because all they can think about is the racism and the fear and the trauma that they have instilled in them because their parents had it in them. It just becomes a cycle. So then when you get down to you and get down to me, we are more the millennial. And we get along with the white people. We get along. To me, there's no division on my level. We understand each other, and we threw away most of the thoughts of the people before us. But when we have these opportunities now. We have college, we have universities, or whatever, trade schools. You have a secondary education you can pursue. And you're open, you go, you get your degrees, you learn, you're in. But you are still dealing with those that are from the generation before you. You are still having to fight your way through. You're dealing with people that are really inferior to you. You're a threat. You're a threat if you become a person of power. Then you'll become a Dr. Martin Luther King. So you deal with those subliminal attacks. You deal with those discourages. You deal with all of that. And you have to always fight for what you want. You always have to fight. You've sustained. You don't have to deal with the fear anymore of the things that happen with your greats. But now you have to deal with the hard fight to sustain what you have. You have to deal with the criticism. If you don't speak as affluent, because you didn't grow up in a suburban area. Most of us, you grew up in the rural area where everybody speaks slang. So when you are around a bunch of people that speak proper English and that were in the suburban area, you have a difficult time and you don't feel secure. You feel like you're on the spot. You feel like there is a light looking down at you and everybody is listening to you for you to mess up. And when you're insecure, let me tell you, that's when your enemy, the arrogant guy, that's when he has an opportunity to get in and humiliate you. And then you're back to your greats, the way they handle fear. and intimidation and inferiority and all those things that kept them from learning. We're at a great disadvantage. And so, like I said, when I hear that the African American community is the greatest number of people that is catching this virus and dying, first of all, I didn't believe it, to be honest with you, because I've been on it, trust and believe. I've been watching the briefings. I've been stuck on MSNBC, and quite frankly, I've been enjoying it because I like to be informed and want to know what's going on. This is serious. You want to watch your enemy so you know where he's going to attack. And so I am hearing all of these things, and it's just, it breaks me down where I'm crying. I'm like, I've been watching these things, and I haven't seen as many black people in the hospital as I have seen white people in the hospital. I haven't. And it's just the reality. So I don't trust what they saying. I don't trust the statistics. What I will say is Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx came up. So in conclusion, and this is not in conclusion for good, because I will go live and talk about this. When are we going to stop fighting each other? I know that you heard this before. I know that you know yourself that you shouldn't be fighting each other. When are you going to see that the enemy is over there and he's after you and the rest of you, both of y'all? So why can't y'all come together? I feel like I'm about ready for all of us. I mean, every black doctor, FBI agent, governmental agent, regular person in the hood, suburban area, every woman, man, and child that's black. Let them have America. Let's go get our own land and be done with it. That's how I feel. I am so over feeling excluded and not included. When I look, again, I said this. When I look at the guy I looked at who had the African guy in Italy, and I eat shrimp fried diablo, and that's my favorite dish. But when I look at the African guy who was over there in Italy, who was in the hospital dying, he was struggling to breathe. The virus took over his lungs. The pneumonia filled his lungs with fluid, and this man was struggling to breathe because his skin was black lacquer. You had the Italian lady in her language calling him the N-word, which I'm not going to say it here on YouTube, calling him N-word, just die, you dirty N-word. Like that broke my heart. And I'm not playing with you, and I'm not BSing you. I cry over this guy. When I think about it, then I get angry because you always see that y'all keep trying to be accepted by somebody. Why do you have to be over there anyway? You know you're not wanted. Why do you have to get somebody to validate you? Why do they make you feel like you're accepted? You got to stop doing that. You have to go by yourself. And I mean by yourself. Spend time alone and depend on yourself to make you feel happy. That is how you develop confidence, and that is how you develop self-esteem. Self-esteem. You can't look for validation. Do you know what that means? That means stop looking for other people to make you feel like you somebody. You shouldn't be doing that. And I see that. I watched a video over in China. China wants to make the country to like a citizenship where, like we have in the U.S., you can apply for citizenship and you don't have to be from the U.S. Well, they want to do that, and they talk to the residents, the people, the citizens of China, the Chinese people, and I had to watch 10 to 15 people say, I don't want black people here. I don't want black men here. Black men, all they do is bring trouble. Black men, let's say it, they rape women. Black men, all they want is our women. We don't want black people here. Do you understand that that is a problem? But y'all fight each other. You put effort into how am I going to tear this person down? How am I going to humiliate this person online because they don't believe what I believe? How am I going to divert people from this person's channel because I don't like what she did? So make sure y'all unsubscribe from her. Like, y'all put so much energy, and I get so so disgusted with people that like that are my own people like that you would attack me and other people like you when you got an enemy. They don't even want you nowhere. They don't want you in America. They don't want you in China. They don't even want you in Africa. They don't want you, period. You're not wanted. So when are you going to want you enough? When are you going to do that? That's what this whole talk is about. Yo, the enemy is right next door. And I don't mean physically next door. I mean, when you're looking at the task force, the White House, they briefing every daggone day around from 5 to 7. Trump, Dr. Birx, Dr. Fauci, you got Mike Pence, the vice president. There's one black guy, the Surgeon General. He's the black guy too. So they do got the one. You got to have one, okay? And I'm not complaining on the fact that they only have one, but I'm saying this. There's a lot of brilliant scientists that we have. Thomas Edison. We have brilliance as well. But when do you see that? Why do I always have to see power with somebody else's race? It's almost like y'all don't want us to show our talent because you are jealous, because you are intimidated, because I am a threat to you. Why else would you struggle like that? And I'm looking at these briefings, and as I hear this, other times I squirm like, please don't say nothing stupid. When there are reporters out there and they're talking to the president, asking the questions, I'm like, please don't say nothing dumb. I'm like, humiliated. They didn't even say anything yet. I'm waiting for them to mess up, for them to attack the person, or I notice it's just very uncomfortable. But lately, I'm like, just get up there and say what you got to say. Tell them off, drag them, say it, question them, put them on the spot, get them, expose them, get to it, get it cracking. Because it's enough. I've had enough. I have had enough of them acting like we are not gifted, talented, and we don't bring joy to this country. Because we do. Because I can guarantee you this. If we leave this country, they will miss us in this country. And this does not, and the problem that is, before I end this video, is not that I don't want to bring diversion. I'm all about mixing. I told you, I am in the millennium. I am in the generation where I am okay with different races. I actually admire the gifts they have, the differences that they have. So it's hard to have these conversations because what happens is you have the task force, the White House, they go up there, they brief, and they don't care, and they really don't. So they're the ones that cause the diversion because they're causing us to question each other. And you have the confusion. I like how the reporter today asked questions about this so-called new data that all black people are the ones that mainly carry this virus. Now, we know damn well every video you've seen, not every, but majority of the hundreds of videos thus far you've seen when people say, I have it, it wasn't blacks. There was some, but there wasn't blacks. So what they're trying to show, that can't think of the word right, statistic or stereotype that they are trying to put out there, you're not going to do that. You're not going to say we started AIDS, we started the coronavirus, why? You know why? Let me say this. This is my whole thing. Y'all was the ones not thinking. Y'all was out here saying black people can't catch it. What you think you going to start with that? Being arrogant, and you didn't have no scientific proof for that. For one. So now you gave your enemy the opportunity to bring the facts and bust you in the head with it and say no. And they can lie, and I'm not saying they are, because I don't know. I'm just, for example, they can lie now. They can make up the facts because they're the ones on the task force. They can say, no, you're wrong, idiot. You're the main one that carried this virus and it's killing y'all more. And that could be a damn lie. But y'all out here, oh, you can't catch it. And like I said, it's nothing more than a conspiracy theory until you can prove it. It's not proven. You out here spreading lies and you trying to, and it's like an insult to all other races. We good, we better than you. We can't get, and you look like a fool because you have no proof. Now, because of what y'all did, and this is me now saying this, because y'all was so quick to say we can't. You were so sure about it. You didn't say you were researching it. You didn't make it so it wasn't such a substantial fact. You made it out to be something that was 100% black people can't catch it. So that's when they said, who the hell you think you are? As a matter of fact, y'all are more fatal when you catch it. It's more fatal in you. You die. You die. You know, it was a good thing that that's my stomach growling. It's a good thing that they addressed it. That what they don't want to see that we have to fix it. Now I hope they're sincere. I hope they care and are concerned, because at this point I'm feeling like nobody like black people. Nobody want us. Nobody wants to include you. Like you just. But then I feel like if we left, you would want us back, because you need somebody to run over top in order for you to feel powerful. You need somebody to make you feel superior. You need to make somebody feel inferior. Who knows? That's my feelings, and I said that they are my feelings. Now, like I said, y'all keep fighting each other. It's just stupid. It's not even no purpose to it. What's the purpose? What is the purpose for the guy on the internet to boast about, and he wasn't black, but he was like, I'm partying, I'm in this coronavirus, and I'm still going to party. And he got arrested. So who are you fighting and being rebellious to? The coronavirus? Your enemy is the coronavirus, dude. You want to rebel and you want to go out. You're not disobeying the law. You disobeying coronavirus. Coronavirus is out there. So when you act like that, I won't catch it, this and that, and I'm gonna go be reckless. I'm going outside. I don't worry about it. I'm not standing 6 feet away. He don't got it. That's foolish. Because the only person you are battling is, it's not the person that's giving you the order. It is the virus, the virus with the spikes that get into your respiratory system by way of aerosol, somebody's spit, somebody's presence, the aerosol spray, the little tiny virus that clings onto your throat, gets into your sinus, however it can get in. It comes alive when it comes inside of you, and it gets down to the very wall floor of your lungs. And then what does it do? It multiplies itself. And what does it do? Your immune system, which goes to work, it starts killing your cells for one, and then your immune system think that it is you, so it starts to try to fight it by creating more of the virus, and then it becomes, your body starts killing you. It becomes like an autoimmune deficiency disease, like AIDS. Because you want to rebel, you want to fight, you fight each other. That's why no one wants you. That's why nobody, you are a powerful person. You are a I want to cuss. You are a powerful person, so much that they do anything to stop you. You are a force to be reckoned with. Your voice is solid. You don't have a light pitched voice. 9 times out of 10, you got a strong, dynamic voice. You've endured a lot. That's why you stress a lot. And you mean to tell me you're going to take your anger out on each other? And then another thing, it's not to physically fight, but prove that you are wise. But the first person you must prove that to is yourself. Because if you start trying to do those things to prove it to people outside of you, then you're looking for their validation. You're looking for their hand clap. You're looking for them to say good job. And that's where you're going to get screwed. That's all I got to say. We'll talk about it on another video, or a live. Thank you for listening to Spicy Topics. Please take heed to what I'm saying. Please take heed to what I'm saying, because this is in my spirit, and it's been for a minute now. Gotta stop fighting each other. You look like it's pointless. It's pointless. It's a disaster for no reason. None. I just want you to know that with the love of God ain't no lust, no nothing, no adulterated. The unadulterated love of God. I love you. I love you. Okay? Have a good one. Peace. to attack